of course, Trinamool supporters on this side giving go back Dilip Ghosh slogans as his central security forces try to control the crowd. Now this of course is in a booth where Dilip Ghosh has come to actually visit the booth, but a lot of Trinamool supporters shouting go back slogans to Dilip Ghosh. Dilip Ghosh was of course seen waving to these people who were shouting slogans as well. But this of course is a chaotic situation around this booth here as security men belonging to Dilip Ghosh try to guide the cars out of here. And this is in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency where Dilip Ghosh is contesting against, Trinamool supporters. You can see now central security forces pushing back the crowd of supporters here as these sloganeering clouds try to, get Dilip Ghosh out of the area by shouting slogans. So these are live visuals from around Kalna Gate in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency. As you can see, supporters here of the Trinamool shouting slogans against Dilip Ghosh and, trying to shout slogans here. And these supporters of the Trinamool Congress here trying to get, Dilip Ghosh out of the area. And this, of course, is Dilip Ghosh's car, as we see surrounded by his security personnel here. And a lot of sloganeering saying, go back, go back. So this, of course, is the Dilip Ghosh's convoy. You can see the security personnel here trying to ensure that his convoy can move out of this area. Mr. Ghosh is here. You can see, of course, Mr. Dilip Ghosh in this car trying to, get out of the area. Dilip da. So obviously, slogans here. In fact, I interviewed him just a short while ago where he said that, wherever there is trouble, where he senses there is trouble, he's going there. But you can see, of course, go back Dilip Ghosh slogans by Trinamool supporters. And this, of course, is the area where these slogans were being shouted against Dilip Ghosh. Now, the slogans are from the back of the lane. We have now reached the front of the lane where, of course, the cars have come. And here, of course, there will be more sloganeering perhaps from the Trinamool supporters who are now at the back of the convoy. But this has been the sense in the situation in, in this area, which is where this place is located. And this, of course, is, as you can see, Dilip Ghosh's car coming out of this area. And as they, sort of try and sort of get him out of this area as sloganeering by Trinamool supporters continue. Now, this, of course, is Dilip Ghosh's car. As you can see, they've had to come out because of the sloganeering. Mr. Ghosh here in this car, moving out of this area. He of course, accompanied by the security forces that, of course, is there with him. And you can see the crowd on the other side shouting slogans. And they're throwing stones now, of course. They're throwing stones at the car. So you can see the stone pelting happening. And, of course, you can see with bamboos they're attacking and coming this side. So obviously, very chaotic scenes here. As you can see, stones falling this side. Lot of stones and also bamboos that they're throwing from the other side. So we just saw some stone pelting at Dilip Ghosh's car here in this area. And you can see.
Okay, so all of that happening in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency. Remember, Dilip Ghosh is the candidate from there, but he's also the former BJP president of Bengal, known to throw many. Saurav joining us with more details. Saurav?
So, we had to move out. The security force who was injured has taken shelter in our car. And, of course, we'll drop him wherever he is. He needs to go. Le chalo unko aage. But obviously there was stone pelting. He seems to be badly hurt here. Lot of blood. And you can see the car, of course, completely damaged. But of course, Dada aapko hospital le jaye. জিজ্ঞেস করো কোথায় হাসপাতাল আছে তাড়াতাড়ি চলো he's got been hit in the head he just so
Saurabh, please catch up with your breath and we'll come back to you. Shocking visuals there of Dilip Ghosh, stones being pelted on Dilip Ghosh, who's a candidate of the BJP from Durgapur, from Bardhaman, Durgapur. He was initially the candidate of the BJP from Midnapur. He's a sitting MP from there. He's also the former president of the BJP in Bengal and he's contesting against Kirti Azad. This is a neighbouring constituency of Asansol where Shatrughan Sinha is contesting against SS Ahluwalia. Saurabh is again with us. Saurabh, over to you.
You can see, of course, they've stone pelting here. This glass has been completely shattered, and this gentleman here, he was injured in the stone pelting. We had to give him a lift in our car. Patthar mara is what you are saying. So we've seen the security man being injured here, and of course. See this car this side also damaged with the stone pelting that happened there. This is in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency. As we were getting out of there, we saw the sloganeering, and then of course Dilip Ghosh's security men also leaving as they were attacked with stones and bamboo sticks.
Quite terrifying there, Saurabh, and that was Saurabh Gupta reporting for us from the constituency of Bardhaman Durgapur, which is where Dilip Ghosh, the former president of BJP Bengal, is contesting from. He was welcomed with sloganeering and stone pelting there. Saurabh, just tell us what exactly happened and also help us understand a little bit about this constituency, because this not just has Bengali voters but also Hindi-speaking voters. Tell us what really led to this. So Saurabh, we'll come back to you in a bit. So that was some shocking visuals of violence in Bardhaman Durgapur constituency, which votes today. Mr. Dilip Ghosh, who was the former president of the BJP in Bengal, is contesting from there against the TMC's Kirti Azad. It is next to the Asansol constituency. Saurabh, back in the car, over to you.
Well, obviously Mr. Ghosh's convoy was coming out of that lane and we were live on those visuals. Supporters, of course, of the TMC there, and Dilip Ghosh's convoy there. God, there's blood everywhere. Yeah. So obviously there was, these supporters who pelted stones and attacked the car with a stick. We saw the rear windshield of the car completely shattered. Of course, the stones narrowly missed us, but obviously my camera person did get hit by a stone on his leg, but narrowly missed all of us. But obviously the car suffered damage there, and now of course Dilip Ghosh, I presume, is headed to a hospital. One of the security men who were injured, of course, took shelter in our car as he was badly hit in the head and had to drive out of there. He was hit by a stone in the head, is what we know from him. That's what he told us while he was sitting in the car, and he is now of course being taken to hospital, I presume, which is where we are going. This is of course on the Kalna Gate area. Where this happened was the Kalna Gate area, and the security man of course was in one of the cars that was supposed to be part of his convoy. But now, of course, we are, heading back towards Bardhaman town, where probably that security personnel will be taken to a hospital for treatment. He seemed badly hit because I can see blood splattered all over my car. So there was quite a lot of bleeding as far as this man is concerned. And you can see, of course, the dashboard and everything with a lot of blood. And obviously, this man will need treatment, but beyond that, these are familiar scenes in Bengal elections, and Dilip Ghosh, of course, is no stranger to this kind of visuals. And this is something that we just saw. You saw those visuals live on your television screens as there was stone pelting, and there was bamboo. We saw Trinamool supporters with bamboo, coming out and attacking that car. And they were also shouting, "Go back, Dilip Ghosh" slogans.
Saurabh, but Tell us a little bit about Dilip Ghosh also, because, I remember that he is a man known to throw a lot of upsets. And when he was actually, announced as the Bardhaman Durgapur candidate, it came as a surprise to a lot of us because he is the sitting MP from Midnapur. But he has often said that he is capable of winning from any seat. And 2016, he was one of the 3 MLAs that the BJP managed to have from Bengal. So one of the early winners from there. Tell us about him and what do you think is the reason for this? Because, we have seen such attacks against even ED teams in South Bengal, and this is happening in different part of the state. What do you think must be the provocation?
Well, obviously, the areas that Dilip Ghosh is visiting are booths that are very, very sensitive, and these are sensitive booths. In fact, we know that there are several booths that have been earmarked sensitive, and Dilip Ghosh, of course, went to one such booth, and there were a lot of sloganeering. In fact, when he went to that booth, but then afterwards, as his convoy turned and as he was coming out, for about some distance, there was still some more sloganeering, and then suddenly there was stone pelting. And, people armed with bamboo sticks came out and attacked the windshield of Dilip Ghosh's car. In fact, the security personnel accompanying Dilip Ghosh was injured. In fact, he took shelter in our car itself because at that time there was stone pelting happening. And he is now headed to hospital. And, of course, this happened near the Kalna Gate area in Bardhaman, and which is part of the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency. So obviously the latest is that Bardhaman Durgapur has seen some violence today, and of course this is part of that incidents of violence that we saw. But of course the stones thankfully narrowly missed us, but unfortunately one of the security personnel accompanying Dilip Ghosh did get hit by those stones and was of course attacked. So obviously he's going to now have to go to a hospital for treatment, and this is of course now we're entering Bardhaman town, so obviously they must be taking him to hospital. And unfortunately this has happened just a short while ago right here. You can see other cars also, media cars, that have also been pelted by stones today.
Absolutely
and
terrifying
this
visuals,
is of course in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency. And
You also were covering elections in the earlier phases, and somehow every time Bengal reported polling numbers, we said that, it was good that the violence didn't happen, because Bengal has been known for, not just the Seetalkuchi incident in 2021, but also post-poll violence that has taken place. But what happened today is equally shocking. You've been covering elections for some time, for a long time. Tell us, how different were the elections this time, or were they actually, because, clearly what happened today shows that a violence-less elections in Bengal seems to be a distant dream.
I'm no soothsayer, but to be honest, there are seats that we expect violence in West Bengal, and there are seats that we don't expect violence in. This was one of the seats that we expected violence in. In the earlier phases, there were seats that we had expected violence in, but there was no violence. And that was a welcome sort of development, because we felt that maybe perhaps this election, we would see an election that is slightly more, violence-free. But, unfortunately, we've been proved wrong. And I've been saying this in my OBs that I hope I've not spoken too soon about, violence coming down. But obviously, this afternoon here, we saw Trinamool supporters, shouting slogans, and also, obviously, targeting Dilip Ghosh's car. And at this point, though we believe that security personnel who, I know he was hurt because I was sitting right next to him, has had to be taken to hospital.
Also, Saurabh, just to recap what happened today to all our viewers, this incident of violence has taken place in Bardhaman Durgapur constituency of West Bengal, which is where Dilip Ghosh, sitting MP from Midnapur, is contesting from. He's contesting against Kirti Azad, who's a TMC leader. Saurabh, explain to us, help us recap as to what, what we really saw on our TV screens.
Well, just to recap, Dilip Ghosh had gone to a sensitive booth. He entered that booth, and then, of course, there was obviously sloganeering by TMC supporters. And post that, there was, of course, as he was coming out, there was stone pelting, and then of course we had to sort of make a dash out of that place, and that is when of course we had to sort of escape, and unfortunately we seem to have lost the convoy of Dilip Ghosh, and we'll have to figure out where he's gone, but obviously this is something that we expected in this seat, to be honest, not in other seats, and well, in some other seats as well. But there, of course, the violence was very muted, hardly any incidents, very sporadic. But this Bardhaman Durgapur has seen a fairly, bad amount of violence. Something also we are familiar with, as reporters who've covered elections in Bengal.